Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at hempvillecbd.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
Welcome to the Filmmakers, the double feature podcast. Join us as we unravel the interwoven experience of the continuous conversation of cinema. Take part in pairing movies with their cursed counterparts, movies that share DNA, or even pairing questionable duos by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmmakers. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier will grant the ability to request films to further the discussion. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready to join the 100-year conversation. This is the Filmmakers, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmmakers. Thank you for joining us today. I'm joined today by my rebel friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmmakers. Some recent episodes include the 2018 A Star is Born, more like A Star is Abomination.
Wow.
The 2023 Maestro, the totally historically accurate Amadeus, the great Nick Cage film, Dream Scenario, and the overrated Inception, more like Deception.
Damn.
Got him. Remember to go over to our Patreon and leave nice reviews, comments, thoughts, ideas. Give us $1. Come subscribe for our exclusive content. And soon, early access to episodes.
Whoa.
But today we are discussing the strangest film of 2023, at least in maybe how it came to be, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. How about that?
How about that?
If you don't mind, before we say anything, I'd like to take a moment of silence for my brain cells.
They'll be missed.
They will be missed. This is hands down the worst film of 2023. I've been bouncing it around in my mind. Is this worse than Transformers, the Beast one? Is this worse than The Little Mermaid or Teenage Kraken? I think so. I think this is the worst movie that I saw released in 2023.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to think about it because The Little Mermaid was pretty bad. But it's one of the two. It's this one or The Little Mermaid.
I'm glad we're starting the year off strong. I don't know if we'll be visiting the part 2 to this film. This may have been all I have in me for this. And I cannot believe people continue to give Zack Snyder money to produce shit like this. And now I know you haven't seen an awful lot of Zack Snyder projects, but I know you have seen one. You may not remember. Army of the Dead with Batista and the zombies. Remember they got a little crew together. They went in to, I think, save a child or something. I can't even remember.
Oh, yeah.
And the zombies were sort of sentient and they were forming communities and stuff. Wasn't terrible.
It was pretty terrible.
You remember it being terrible?
Yeah.
I remember it being fine. Just whatever. You know, not fine in the same way I talked about Inception, I guess. Not Inception. Inception's a much better movie than Army of the Dead. Don't get me wrong. It's that serviceable kind of territory where it's whatever.
Yeah, I think I've also seen the Batman versus Superman one. I think that's the one I saw.
Okay.
Is that the only one? Is that the only Batman versus Superman kind of live action thing?
Kind of live action. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You've seen that?
Yeah, not cartoon. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm sure there's a cartoon of Batman fighting Superman.
Yeah, probably. Sure.
Yeah, that one sucked ass.
Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing. That was bad. A lot of the Ben Affleck era of DC was pretty rough to get through. I'm not going to lie. I did have a soft spot for a Zack Snyder film in the early 2000s with 300. I can't remember exactly what it's about, but I think it's like Leonidas, the crew of the 300 Spartans, and they went to go cause some mayhem and take over an empire, and it was cool at the time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. If it's a film of the time, I wonder if I'd like it now. Because I think you started it at one point, but I think I fell asleep.
No, I started the sequel, which is terrible.
Okay.
I wonder how I would feel about the original 300 today. I saw a lot of 300 in Rebel Moon, especially. I can't really pinpoint with Man of Steel or Batman vs. Superman or even the Justice League. I can't really see 300 in those in my mind's eye, but this one was hardcore 300 all over it. So I was like, wow, that's a thing he likes. He likes this weird color grading. He likes this strange approach to slow motion. He likes this, I mean, I guess I have to call him as I sees him. There's just kind of this pretentious air of he's trying to get to the nut of something that's that he thinks is a big deal or like really grandiose and thought-provoking, but doesn't actually do anything. The film doesn't actually do anything with the pieces it's got. It feels like there's more behind the scenes that's happening in that's happening in Zack Snyder's head that we don't get to see on screen. Like, this film was like a 2-hour pitch to a production company. Like, this is what it's going to kind of look like and stuff. And, you just get it out there. But like, where's the rest of the movie? And I know there's a part 2, but where's the rest of part 1 that was happening in between all of the moments we saw? Well, it almost begs the question, why wasn't it a show, I guess, in that sense? But again, I don't understand why Netflix, I guess, specifically is still giving this guy money to make stuff like this. I guess this may be it. This was like the worst received movie of 2023, as far as like big budget stuff goes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Man.
I'm right there with him. It makes me feel like Zack Snyder is that dad who he genuinely thinks he's cool, and his kids are just so like, shut up, I'm so embarrassed around you kind of thing, but he thinks he's cool. He literally thinks he's cool, You know what I'm saying? I guess he's missing that self-awareness, and then I guess that I feel like that comes out in his film, and I feel like he is basically making films for a 9-year-old boy, 8-year-old boy, and that's it.
Yeah, it's almost like, I like what you said. It's almost like he had the script and told everybody to recite it as they go. Not even read the whole thing or know what it's about. But, all right, everyone just, here you go, here's your lines, and go. And let me record it while you're doing it. His pitch was this, and here's the script. Yeah, I like that.
He shot it to guarantee for whoever was making the trailer that the trailer would be, the high point of the movie. Everything felt like trailer material.
I wouldn't even go that far. I guess trailers do suck sometimes, so if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I just mean kind of
It didn't look good. Take anything from that movie and show it to me as a trailer, I wouldn't want to watch that movie.
No, I totally agree. I guess I'm trying to think from the angle of Zack Snyder himself, in that he sees this and he's like, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool constantly. That's what it feels like because of just how it's captured in the abuse of slow-mo. Slow-mo, not slow-mo. Slow-mo, not slow-mo. And within the same 3 or 4 minutes, it's just like, this movie's completely out of control. Netflix should stick to buying films from Sundance and, TIFF and everything, or getting the rights to stream them and everything, and stop facilitating these creatives, as in giving them budgets to create a Netflix, production proper, like Zack Snyder here. And I mean, maybe even Maestro, I'm not sure, maybe would prevent some really great things to pop up, but they obviously have no idea how to manage their output, because, I mean, this is most of Netflix shit right here. It's most of it's not this expensive, but most of it's this bad. And I guess they're kind of known for that at this point. Again, I don't know if Maestro was involved in that way. Something tells me it wasn't, maybe because of the Spielberg-Scorsese affiliation, that there was some kind of weird major co-production there, and Netflix just acted as distributor. There wasn't a lot of input. So, I don't know. Let's stop giving Zack Snyder money to direct. That's all.
All right.
That's all I ask.
All right. Fair ass.
These movies are offensive.
They're offensive.
To the art of movie making. That's all.
Yeah, this movie sucked. It sucked pretty bad. And you said that he originally tried to do this for a Star Wars story?
Yeah, he pitched the invaders coming to a farm town, and then the farm hero has to go out and get a band of folks together to kind of counter the invaders. That was the Star Wars pitch.
And they told him no. So this was his fuck you to them.
Sort of, yeah. This was I'm gonna
do it
find
anyway.
Someone else, yeah. Like,
You would think that if you had the balls to do that, to say, well, fuck you, I'm gonna find someone else that likes my story, even though it's, I'm assuming he made it for Star Wars to be part of that legacy.
He ripped off the story from Akira Kurosawa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a complete rip-off of, I think, his film Seven Samurai, which is the same story. There's invaders in like a farm town, and this guy go get a band of folks together to counter the invaders.
Oh, wow. So it's a rip-off, wanting it to be part of a bigger picture.
And I guess, to be fair, Star Wars is also deeply inspired by Akira Kurosawa films, to be fair. So he's trying to fit the puzzle together, and it's just like...
So even more of a rip-off.
Yeah, it's like a double rip-off. It's just like, can you not bring anything fresh to the table? You feel like you need to fit the mold?
So then you give this... I don't know, if someone turned me down, I would make sure whatever I'm doing to present to the world as a big FU is absolutely fucking amazing, or I'm not even going to bother showing my face.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Those Star Wars execs, Disney execs they're feeling good right now. They're like, we dodged a bullet. We dodged a motherfucking nuke.
And then I was reading that part 2 is coming out in April.
Yes. So it sounds like the film's already done and they're trying to separate it. Did you read also that they're releasing a director's cut?
Yes.
What
like an hour longer than this film.
What kind of fucking sense does that make? A platform like Netflix allows you to create exactly what you want. It allows you to have an hour and a half Stranger Things episodes, right? 4 or 5 of them, whatever. It allows you to have anthologies of whatever, allows for everything. Why isn't the director's cut movie just the movie?
Yeah, it goes back to the whole, I'm so cool.
Yes.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna release a director's cut.
I think, I can't remember what movie we were talking about when we brought up the baseline of pretentious. I need to write this down. This movie is fucking pretentious. He thinks he has something cool. He thinks he has something perhaps thought-provoking. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt in that way. But man, this movie is... this movie is going to be studied for how to not make a movie.
Yeah. This, boys and girls, is how you don't make a movie. So before we even watched the movie, I saw the poster. And I didn't think I was going to like it. And you told me to give it a try. And I did. I at least the first 15 minutes, I gave it as hard of a try as I could possibly give it.
You knew, after the first 15 minutes, you knew exactly what you were in for. I did too.
Okay.
I was there with you. I will give it to Zack Snyder that he knows what his movies are. He thinks they're cool. That's fine. And he delivers on that. Whatever that is, it's a strange thing that was allowed to happen, but he delivers on it. It's very consistent in that.
He follows through. Yeah.
So I have to applaud him. You know me. What do I say? I like it when a movie knows what it is.
Yes. Yeah, you do say that, don't you? But I was immediately, even in those 15 minutes, I was immediately thrown off by the kind of fuzziness of the movie. Just in the corners or up at the top or whatever. It was weird. It was, I don't know what other way to describe it besides kind of fuzzy, kind of blurry. And it's a shame because the farm they were at looked pretty cool, especially towards the top. It looked like they had a waterfall. I don't know. It looked cool up there, but it was very blurry. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is it me? Are my contacts like circling in my eye right now? But no, because she was in focus. So it wasn't me, it wasn't my eyes. And the rest of the film was like that. It wasn't in some places, but it was in a lot of scenic scenes. And I don't understand the point of that.
I don't either. But there was this weird, like, vignette of a focus. We saw the center of the vignette, but the perimeter, a very wide radius of a perimeter, was out of focus. It was weird. It was very weird. And I don't remember that in any other Zack Snyder film. I haven't seen a Zack Snyder film since Army of the Dead when it first came out. And then before that, oh my God, I'm not even sure if I saw enough of Justice League to say. I don't even know. But it was super bizarre. And there must be something to that in 300, because when that started popping up, and especially the oranges of the farm and just the world, I was like, damn, there's a lot of 300 energy in this. And I'm like, this is interesting. He's obviously very into that aesthetic. So I can't help but to, again, kind of be like, all right, that's cool that he's like focused in on that. But I'm just like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. This is probably the ugliest, highly produced,
Exactly.
high budget movie I've ever seen.
Exactly. Because at this point, we're used to sci-fi movies that are highly produced, looking beautiful.
If not anything else. Like they're just...
Yes.
They lean into the beauty.
Forget the story, the characters, forget all that. The world looks fucking awesome. And this sci-fi film was a huge disappointment. I mean, the new Star Wars films, I've only seen a few, but they look awesome. Dune looks awesome. The new Blade Runner we watched looked awesome. Then you have this guy giving you a fuzzy quality, and I'm like, man, this looks like we have a bad copy or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand the point. I thought maybe we would get to it on why we were seeing this world through this lens, but it never hit me. It never got there.
He thinks it's cool.
All right.
He likes the look. It's probably out there. I'd like to know his top 50 movies. Because of course his top 10 to maybe 20 movies are going to be the same fucking movies everyone likes. That every director, every actor likes. I want to know the bottom of the barrel great movies that he likes. I'd be very curious. Because where does this sense of coolness come from? He's a cool dad.
Fight Club?
Fight Club? Maybe. There's something to that, yeah.
Oh, you know what? It gave me a little bit, especially with the girl, Resident Evil vibes.
Okay. I think you're on to something there. That's a nice double pull. There's a lot of Resident Evil energy in this, actually.
Mm-hmm. And it's a shame because I love Resident Evil movies, but those might be like a guilty pleasure kind of deal, or
they're totally guilty pleasure movies
of the time, like we talk about. But
at the same time, there's really nothing else like those Resident Evil movies. I have to give it to you. They are a little special.
Yes.
In that way. Even they have, because a similar thing with this and those Resident Evil movies is there's this cheapness to it. And when the movie started, I was even like, all right, we got this CW quality Flash Green Arrow thing happening. And but it's a little more than that. It is a little bit more than that, just like the Resident Evil movies. And there's, I guess, to give Zack Snyder some credit, he's got some Snyderisms, I think. He's got his own style, which not all directors can say.
I guess you can say that. And the slow-mo. Oh my God. Did he not take a, film 101 class on on how you effectively use slow-mo. Even I could pull out like 5 things right now that you use slow-mo on.
Yeah, did he ever pay attention to watching other movies? Like, it reminds me of Leave the World Behind with the camera work, and it's just like, there's no point to any of this anymore. It's completely overstated, and I think here, unlike Leave the World Behind, I think it's a coolness effect.
When she very slowly was going to put that flag on the ground, I guess.
Oh my god.
That was awful. She did a full 360 spin in slow-mo. Dude, if you cut out all the unnecessary slow-mo, this movie would have been an hour. Maybe I would have been more okay with it if it was an hour without all the unnecessary slow-mo. Because after she spun in slow-mo, she dug it into the ground, and then we had her like walk away in slow-mo.
Well, hear this. I swear to God, maybe my mind's playing tricks on me, but I swear when she spun in slow-mo, and then when she started to put the flag in the ground, or like kind of support it on the ground, it slowed down even more. I swear to God it did. Check that out.
Oh my gosh. It's so unnecessary.
It's so out of control.
And even when, in the beginning, when they were all planting rice and they saw that spaceship in the sky, they dropped the seeds or the rice, whatever. It looked like rice, but it was probably seeds. They dropped them in slow-mo. Why?
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool. Oh, man. There were a lot of storytelling elements that just lost me here. So many. I understood the premise. We're gonna go recruit people to help us fight. Why are we fighting? I don't know. For what? The farm? Okay, I guess. And each character we're getting introduced to, we don't know why we want to recruit them. They don't even know why we're trying to recruit them. It's like they have to say yes.
Yeah, this is the pitch. Like, we're missing the in-betweens to each. Like, this, each recruitment would be its own episode in a series.
Yes.
Of like 6 or 7 episodes.
Like One Piece. It was very, go recruit, Nami.
Exactly.
And,
how's a live action anime movie series gonna outdo a very storied director? He's got a lot of history in filmmaking for the last 20 years.
Oh my god.
Working on massive projects. He obviously knows how to get the work done. He's just not a proper creative when in the director's chair. I mean, I guess he is. He has a vision. He's got an aesthetic, right? He's got something going on, but he's not a storyteller. He's not a cinematographer. And I know he was DP on this.
Oh, man. Don't tell me that.
And I don't think he really is probably a director, maybe an assistant director kind of oriented person, or like you're a major unit production kind of guy where he helps facilitate the project to get done on time kind of thing, because he's got massive projects under his belt. So he definitely knows to some degree, he definitely knows to a very high degree what he's doing. But man, the creative side of him is just something. It is something. I don't know. Does he have kids? They must be embarrassed.
They must be embarrassed.
He just feels like he thinks he's a cool dad. All the energy I get out of this movie.
Take the beginning, for example, when we're introduced to, or we're already introduced to, technically, I guess, our main characters. And, the bad guys come, they're settling in, and we're introduced to Jimmy, the robot, which he was pretty cool.
Jimmy was cool.
So, this is where I'm like, okay, maybe I can get into this. I love robots. He looks cool. And he's kind of got a cool backstory about him. So what's going to happen?
I think he's got a super cool backstory about him. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Set up him talking to that blonde girl by the water. That was awesome.
Well, that's what I was getting to. How did they already make a connection by the water?
Yeah, that's true.
She didn't see him get beat up.
Yeah.
She didn't I don't know. She was already making him a flower headpiece to make him feel better. And he was already telling her this story about a princess, queen, being kind. And she was being kind right then. And then you're like, okay, well, this girl's obviously important. Jimmy is obviously important.
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Well, they're obviously going to be important in the second one.
Are they? I have no idea. I guess you gave me a little bit of Jimmy at the end there where we see him for like 2 seconds and he's got some like antlers. What did he go do? I don't know.
He's the king of the deer, obviously.
Oh, okay, my bad. I didn't get that.
He's a shaman.
He's a shaman.
He's a robot shaman.
And then we have, I think his name is Aris. He's the boy who helped defend against that girl when she was gonna get, raped.
And he defended Jimmy.
And he defended Jimmy. Like, there was a connection here with him and Jimmy and Cora.
He was obviously an important player in this.
Yes. What happened?
He just disappeared.
He just disappeared.
After that scene. They're gonna rape her. What?
I thought he was coming along for the ride. I thought him
obviously.
And Jimmy. Yes.
Okay, Jimmy. All right. He's gonna show up in the second one. Okay, whatever.
I hope.
We get a second offender of this setup happening all at the same time? What? What is this?
It's like he's messing with my story viewing skills.
Yeah, he's reinventing how to tell a story, obviously. Obviously, Zack Snyder is a visionary.
He's too advanced for me then.
He's too advanced. We're too dumb for this movie. 2 movies in a row where we're too dumb. Inception and Rebel Moon.
Man, we're losing it.
We've lost it.
We've rescued the girl. All right, cool. She killed everybody. Awesome. We have to fight now. Why? Because you killed everybody? Or because you love your farm so much and the people in it? Or because you love your, papa, even though there was no emotional connection there whatsoever, which I thought there would have been. I don't know. I didn't understand her motive to go fight. Besides, I just killed everyone here, so now I have to fight. I needed more. I needed more of this character on why she now feels like she's got to go fight the Empire. Maybe she just likes fighting for fighting's sake. I don't know. Or is she fighting for her dude? But which one is it? Because she makes long eye contact with 2 of them.
I didn't even notice. Well, I took it where that was basically her whole arc in the first of this duo of movies, where that was kind of a mystery in the beginning, and then it got revealed that, she denounced her empirehood because, she used to work for them and stuff, because they do whatever by any means necessary, which kind of helps facilitate evil ideas. And so she was like, all right, I'm out, kind of thing. That was, yeah. And that was it. We got a character set up. We got the motivation at the end throughout the movie, which is not something I love.
We got the motivation to fight right in the beginning. Like, all of a sudden. She had just, shot everybody. Jimmy ran away. All the farm people came. And she's like, well, now we have to fight him. You do? And then the other guy, what's his name? Gunner. He's like, all right, cool. I know some people. You do?
Yeah, I hate the setup to the adventure right out of the gate, because they're on such different levels, right? We have a farm community versus a galaxy-faring ship and, part of a bigger scheme of things. Like, they're not really on the same level of prey and predator.
Mm-hmm.
It's like us humans versus ants. It's like, you can only make fun of that from one angle, and that is, we have that movie. It's called Ants. But here we try to get a proper dueling of the 2 parties. In the source material, you have a group of bandits trying to capture, invade, raid this farm community. All right, you have bandits versus who are just people, right, with raiding-like motives, versus a group of people who are also people. And so there's I guess we have people versus people here too, but you have, they both probably have horses, they both probably have some maybe guns, maybe not a lot of, but they all have probably swords. They all probably have some combat training because that's the stereotype in Japan. So there's like a little bit of a competitive nature there. Here we have ants versus humans. It's just like the setup to that is just, and I get that introduces kind of the underdog story. I guess you see that, I think, in Star Wars. I'm not really familiar with Star Wars. I think you might be even more than me because I've seen Solo once, you've seen it twice, and I've seen Rogue One. You saw that.
Yep.
And that's basically it for me. And I know the Jedi are always kind of fewer than the Empire, I think, and the Sith. I really don't know, but it feels like there's kind of an underdog thing happening there. And so I get the attractiveness of the underdog story. Everyone loves the fucking underdog. Okay. Am I crazy on that, or should I appreciate the underdog story a little bit more? Should I embrace it?
Well, I think we were missing a little bit of the other people saying, hold up, why would we do that? Why would we fight? We have no weapons. We barely have food. None of us are trained. And then that's when she gives her speech and says, I don't know, you want this to happen again? Or whatever. Well, they're coming after us anyway. I fucked up. I killed everybody. I'm so sorry I dragged y'all into this. But you know what? We're going to do this. You know, we need... The underdog always needs that drive and that hopefulness that they're going to do it. No, we don't know how yet, but we're going to because we have the upper hand with our spirit. And we have a montage of them getting ready. Maybe the girl learns how to pick up a sword, or they start rationing food and maybe taking away the women and children. I don't know. But we're missing a little bit of that part of the underdog, which we might get in part 2. Who knows? We might get everyone while they're away.
But instead we have a Mary Sue who isn't confronted with any real challenge. She can just walk over everything because she's...
Yeah.
Which they didn't even set up in flashback. They just showed us her doing her duty. Her being part of the collective. Their collective.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the most feared soldier in the galaxy? It said something like that, right?
You are?
Yeah. Maybe because the slow-mo isn't slow-mo, she can slow down time.
Genius.
How about that?
Maybe you're onto something here. Yeah, we're missing a lot from our characters. We're missing a lot of the emotion. We're missing a lot of the why should we give a fuck about what's going on? Why should we give a fuck about recruiting that really buff guy that can tame animals? Or that, ex-general who is now a bum living off dirt.
Living in the dirt.
Living in the dirt, yeah.
That was my favorite shot of the whole movie when they approached him when he was like in the streets and he was like covered in ash or something,
mm-hmm.
and his eyes were just so white, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a decent shot of that guy. I don't know his name.
Titus?
Yeah, Titus.
Why do I care about any of these characters? Why do I care that other guy, Blood Axe, dies?
Why are the bad guys actually concerned about them teaming up with each other? Because, at the end they were like, the chick, Titus, and the other revolutionary group, he was like, this is the worst case scenario. We have all these great minds working together. He's like, we need to get this shit done quick before things get out of control. It's like, they're a threat? I mean, I see that they took down an entire ship without a ship. They were just on land.
That's true.
Oh, okay, I see that in all its glory, but okay, like I don't feel like there's really kind of any proper organization amongst them to be able to do that again. It feels like a fluke, baby.
Yeah, and one of the things that probably bugged me the most, was why did Kai betray them?
Because he's a mercenary and whoever pays him more.
No, he said, because I want to be on the right side of history.
Oh, yeah.
What? Not for the money? No one promised you kingdoms?
Yeah, that was a bizarre.
Do you get a girl out of this? Nothing. You want to
guess
be on the right side of history?
you get your life, maybe?
Maybe. We know what this guy can do. Don't trust anybody. And you would think someone like Kai would learn that, not to trust anybody.
Well, he's going to come back in the second one, probably be like, I told you, you want to be on the right side of history, and then he's going to start working with him.
But he died.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He died.
Gunner killed him.
Like, just, boop.
Yeah, like nothing.
Oh, okay.
Like, wait, he died?
Totally
oh,
forgot.
yeah. Because I forgot he died, too. While we were watching it. After it had just happened.
Yeah, that's right. You asked me who's going to kill Kai. And I was like, it obviously has to be Gunner. Oh, yeah, he already did it.
I didn't understand the betrayal there.
Yeah, that's a weird way to justify your motives.
There was no security, or it wasn't even, they were going to kill me and my family, or they were going to destroy my world. I want to be on the right side of history. Oh, dude, who says that? But again, Zack Snyder is a visionary. He's got a whole new way to backstab somebody.
He's reinventing storytelling.
Yes.
He's like, fuck you, Odyssey and Iliad. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to be, maybe, in a history book. I don't know.
I guess, to be clear, I don't think there is a proper way to tell a story. Like you got to follow this formula, these tropes to get things across kind of thing. I think there's a lot of room and flexibility in how you can tell a story. I think that's obvious, right? And all the great things that have to tell a story, a really great story. I don't think there's any definition to it. But man, this is not one of them.
And it doesn't help that the acting sucked ass.
The acting was bad. Who was the worst? Who was your worst?
Probably the girl.
The girl?
Cora.
Yeah, I was thinking the guy who tamed the animal.
Okay.
He was pretty bad.
I didn't get enough of any of the recruits.
That's what I was thinking. And Titus, like I like his cadence, that actor, like his look and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But we pick him up, we recruit him, and then after the fight, he says like one thing, and he probably says 30 words in the whole movie. Like, who is this guy?
And like towards the end, he started to say something really like motivating or poetic or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, he can talk?
Yeah, I know, right?
Cool.
I thought he was a mute. That would have been kind of cool if he was a mute general. He's that good that he can command without saying.
Yeah.
There you go. There's some storytelling for you. This film kind of reminds me of a bad video game movie. I guess to hammer home the Resident Evil thing just a little bit, and others. I know, of course, Resident Evil with Mila Jovovich. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Those aren't proper video game adaptations, of course. But they do kind of tether themselves to the source material. And this feels like it's kind of cut of a similar cloth. And those films, I feel like, also kind of tend to lean into just being overly cool. They try to lean into what does an 8, 9, 10-year-old like.
And it's funny you say that because our main girl here, Sofia Boutella? I don't know where she's from.
I think she's French.
She's French?
Oh, no, she's Algerian.
She was a model and a dancer. And it reminds me of that girl from The Meg that you don't like.
Which one?
The model that you don't like.
Oh, from Meg
the
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, looking into it a little bit more, Mila Jovovich was a model too.
Oh, shit. I see what you're doing here.
You see what I'm doing here? I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, to be fair...
And then the girl from Blue Beetle was a model.
Damn, are you saying models can't act?
I'm just putting facts out there. That's
Damn.
all I'm doing.
Damn. Oh my god. But to be fair, Sophia is in a really cool movie called Climax.
Is she in it? Is she a main character?
She's the main character, but she doesn't say much. She mostly kind of slinks around and dances. And but it's a really cool movie.
Okay.
It's all done in one shot. and it's like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
If I had to,
So you're crediting her acting?
I'm crediting her presence on screen.
All right, that's all I'm saying.
If I was to put a list of movies together of just things you've got to see of what movies can look like, maybe top 20, that would be in that list. So I don't know. I know Mila Jovovich has been in a lot of really bad things, like The Fifth Element, which I think is something akin to this film as well.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yes, of course. Same. She's a mute in that, actually, funny enough.
So if we can just get them to not say anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to something.
So in the Meg, Ruby Rose is a model. Does she speak much? I can't remember if she has much of a speaking. She does.
She has some stuff to say.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was wondering if she was quiet and they just... Okay, never mind.
And if you go to our previous episode, we have some not so nice things to say about her acting.
Yeah, she's rough. I know she's really rough in that CW show too. See this connection here. There's a web here. We're getting to the nut of this. I didn't expect this. She's also in the... How about this? She's also in one of the John Wick films, and she doesn't speak. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3, but it's one of them.
She's in chapter 2 of John Wick. She's also in Resident Evil, the final chapter.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
There we go. The connection only gets deeper.
I know. But that's all I'm going to say.
I hear you. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I kind of felt like not only our main girl, but a lot of the other characters talked like they had a teleprompter in front of them and were just reading what they were supposed to say. Because not only was it so emotionless, but it was kind of slow. And there might be something to that, this isn't Earth. They're on a different planet. They're on a moon, whatever they're on. I don't know. It's called Rebel Moon. So maybe he's trying to, like that Will Smith movie about After Earth.
Oh, yeah.
That they speak kind of weird. So maybe that's what he's trying to do here? I don't know, but it did not come off like that. Just like in the Will Smith movie. Maybe he didn't see it and didn't learn from it.
Yeah, I don't reinvent the way people speak unless you are hiring people like Robert Eggers, who have the resources to get linguists involved and, do the research himself.
Yeah.
So I definitely hear that. As long as they looked cool saying it, that's all that mattered. He was trying to get the coolest look.
Gotcha.
However they sound is however they sound. They'll pick it up in the booths.
I did like some of the creatures we saw. They were pretty cool. Especially the donkey, horse looking things. Those were cool. Those were maybe my favorite next to Jimmy. I like some of the technology they had here. Especially the chairs looking thingies that bound you and you could just kill somebody with a switch or with a key.
That was weird. The killing part. They were kind of like Scorpion-esque with like a tail that bound you. I did like those, but the way they went about those scorpion cargo things' purpose in the world were strange because you had your head attached to the top of the scorpion-like tail and they would stick a syringe-like thing in the back of your head, bottom of your head, in your spine or whatever, and it'd kill you, paralyze you, whatever. Like, why? Why was there a slot for it? Like, why didn't you just fucking kill him? It wasn't cool. Zach.
That's true. Why was there a choice? But I didn't like the weapons here. And that's one of the coolest things about some sci-fi films. The props, the weapons. I mean, the lightsaber it's one of the fucking coolest weapons ever. The sound it makes, it's awesome. But we gave this guy a fucking cane to beat the shit out of people?
They sure did.
That's all you had in you?
Yeah, I don't...
And then the Nemesis chick, the Asian chick, she had some lightsabers look-alike.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't even be original?
No, he's trying to fit a mold without crossing any legal bounds, right? Her introduction was really fucking bad, too.
Yes.
That might have been the worst. I forgot about that.
Yes.
With the spider and that whole fight, I was just like, oh no, this is...
It felt like we were watching a different movie. A different bad movie. I look up 1 second and I'm like, wait, what is going on?
It's like, who is the spider chick? What is the conflict here? She just... Okay. We have a new team member.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that's always one of my favorite things about sci-fi films. And he disappointed. And I guess to add a little bit to that, sci-fi has a really awesome world. We got some different creatures going on. Some of them spoke, some of them didn't. Okay, that's weird. And we traveled to different places. I wasn't sure if we traveled to different planets or just different regions. I didn't really pick up on that. We had a spaceship, so I'm assuming different planets. But I thought we were all on the same planet. We didn't give each planet its own world, its own creativity.
Yeah, no, totally. I think we were on the same planet.
Were we? Because
I'm pretty
I know
sure.
we got like little cards telling us where we were at.
Yeah, I think we were still all on the same planet. That's a good question. I don't actually know. Because I got the impression that they couldn't leave out of orbit. They couldn't get into outer space.
But didn't we have like a portal open up?
Oh. A portal.
I know we did in the beginning. I'm not sure about the other places.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question.
So maybe because they all kind of look the same, maybe we didn't go to other planets? But if we did, but it's definitely a time in a sci-fi film where you can get creative, even if you're on the same planet. Different places could have different looking creatures. And I think they really had a miss on that. And the world building and letting us know exactly where we were and what kind of planet we were in. If you don't have a unique world in your sci-fi film, you don't have a sci-fi film.
You gotta put it in space. If you don't have the world, get on that ship.
I guess so. Get on that ship.
What do you think about the fighting?
I thought the fighting was as good as I think that's what gave me the Resident Evil vibes. The fighting. So not great. Especially the end fighting. It was bad editing and chaotic. I didn't like any of the fighting. And I just hate it because the setup in the beginning wasn't great, but it was good. Especially when they started bullying Jimmy. I'm like, okay, we got something here. And him blushing, that was adorable. And boom, this character completely gets lost. What'd you think about the fighting?
Yeah, I thought it was as bad as it gets, really. I remember this one instance where, I guess Nemesis, is that what you said? Nemesis is a character in Resident Evil.
Connection.
Where she, like, stabbed someone with her sword, like, in the gut, and we were behind the person she stabbed, and or something like that, and you would think the sword would kind of go through, especially it looking like a Star Wars lightsaber type thing. It would go through them, and it didn't. I was just like, that was, I mean...
What happened?
What happened? I don't even know. It's like it was retractable or something. But yeah, I mean, the fighting was just...
It's like the toy lightsabers you buy, and they're like in...
They collapse.
4 different sections that collapse. Maybe that's what she had.
It did the job, though. It killed the guy. So.
All right. Job done.
Yeah, the fighting was putting me to sleep.
Yeah.
I think I almost fell asleep towards the end there when they were fighting. And then how they resolved, our Nazi guy on the little platform, and they had a little Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker moment. It's just like, I just can't help to believe it's just like, this is cool in Zack Snyder's eyes. This is cool. It's like, it's almost not even fair to call it pretentious, but I do kind of feel like it is, because it feels like it's so, like, childlike. A child made this film. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which he'll probably live forever, if he's got the mind of a 10-year-old. But this film is just not for me in any form.
Yeah, the resolution at the end was weird. It was weird. I mean, you said it earlier. You have these characters all together, and they're a threat. I didn't know they were a threat. All right. Cool. I have no idea what's going to happen in part 2.
Yeah, I don't know about that setup, that ending there where they bring the guy back. He talks to the main character's like dad, like adopted dad from the Empire, and he's like, we gotta handle this shit quick. They're a problem. I'm like, oh, they are, I guess.
All right.
And then the Nazi dude's like, all right, well, we'll get to it. We're supposed to get a moment of like he's afraid of his boss.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I hate that this is the first time we're really seeing. I know it's kind of a reveal, but I hate that this is the first time we're seeing anything that indicates there's any character within these characters.
Yeah, this isn't where you do the reveal.
The reveal should have probably happened in the second movie.
Yeah, or this kind of reveal. You do it later on. And that's when the audience is like, oh, it's that guy. And usually it's a few more movies out when you've had time to develop the characters or give them a tragic backstory. I mean, her backstory is the lamest of all.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't even get to see her parents get killed. How am I supposed to feel for her?
I don't know. I just don't know. I tried to feel, but I felt nothing. I felt sleepy, actually.
Well, it's because your brain cells popped out of your ears. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would put this or The Little Mermaid as the worst movie of the year. At least I made it through this one, and I liked something about it. If there wouldn't have been a Jimmy in this movie, maybe it was a sure worst movie.
Okay. I guess one thing I liked about Little Mermaid a lot that was just completely neglected was the Caribbean aesthetic and locale. Like, I wish they would have just embraced that.
Yeah, but it was neglected, it wasn't in the film.
But it sort of was when she got on land and stuff, but it was just like, this was like such a quarter measure that I'm not
counting it.
It says here that after premiering December 22nd on Netflix, the film garnered 23.9 million views in a matter of days. It's pretty good. Well, that's a lot of people. That's not especially good for Netflix, I would imagine.
Wow.
Making it the #1 most viewed English language film on the service. Here's the funny thing. From December 18th to December 24th. What the fuck does that mean?
What?
It was the most viewed thing on Netflix
that week.
Okay.
That's not bragging rights.
That's a weird thing to say. That's on Wikipedia for if anyone gives a shit. That's a weird thing to
That is
include.
A very weird thing. Huh.
Because I would imagine everything in the top, the top 10 that's on Netflix week to week or whatever, how they have that list, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine everything that enters that list has that kind of moment in time on their service, right?
Yeah,
that's why
sure.
they're on the list. It's how you become #1, if that's accurately kind of represented. And I know month to month, week to week is not equivalent to every other week and month, of course, right? Some months and weeks are more active than others, right? I would imagine the week of December, or I would imagine the week of Christmas and maybe New Year's, that those 2 weeks right there, tons of people are on Netflix because people are at home, they put that shit on, that kind of thing. So I don't know. Thought that was kind of funny to see.
That's like bragging about your kid that got a participation award.
We were in the top 10 on Netflix. Good. You're a Netflix original movie. Cool. Nice. Yeah, man, I'm sorry to put you through this. This was a movie that should not have been made in the way it was. We need to back it up on the coolness level. Maybe we're just not cool enough. Maybe we're not smart enough. I think this is a cool situation. In Inception, we weren't smart enough. Here, we're not cool enough. So,
yep.
We're dumb and lame.
Yeah, maybe I'll forgive you the next movie we watch. We'll see.
I expect it to be a little better than this. So, we'll see. What do you think about the parallel between Inception and this Rebel Moon with them getting a party together? That wasn't the point of that movie. It kind of was the point of this movie. It's kind of funny, right?
All right.
Yeah, man. Thank you for watching this film with me. Thank you for talking about it here today. I hope you at least had a good talk out of this.
Yeah, I got to shit on something.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've dogpiled a movie like this.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do I feel like we just did it?
A Star is Born wasn't that bad. But
Yeah,
we did
it
kind
wasn't that bad.
of dogpile it. But it's not good. Do you have a budget guess for me here today?
Yes. My budget guess is 90 million. This movie looks like it could be expensive, but I wasn't sure because I'm not really familiar with his work and how he manages his money.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think I should have given him more. But then again, with what we got, there's no way you spent more than 90.
I know it's the kind of movie that's like, I think this is an expensive movie, but there's no way to be sure.
Yes.
Because I get the feeling that it's expensive.
But no way did you blow a lot of money on this piece of crap.
It's sort of like, just hear me out, sort of like Inception. You know, Inception's not a $160 million movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if any movie is a $160 million movie.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So
No idea. After seeing Ari Aster and the whale dude, and even Saw, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I hear you. Well, you will be very surprised to hear that we have some budget data for a Netflix movie.
Oh, okay.
But it's a shared budget between the two movies.
Oh.
So spoilers, it's $166 million between the two. And so it looks like it is probably about $80 to $90 million for this movie.
Okay.
So nice guess. Nice guess.
Okay.
Because if you cut that right down in the middle, it's 83, so.
All right.
And I already told you about the performance. That's our box office numbers. 23.9 million in a matter of days. Cool flex.
Nice. Cool story, bro.
So finally, just wanted to share with you guys some general consensus out there of us regular folks over on Letterboxd. It's a 2.0.
Wow, that's higher than I thought.
It's about what I expected because it's this high budget, loud movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they, it's there's this blockbuster bump to them, right? But I do think that's a little high at the end of the day. What would you give it?
Yeah, I gave it a half. I'm not sure. I gave it a half solely on Jimmy. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bother rating it.
Damn. I also gave it a half. It's a hard half.
We've been
simpatico.
Yeah, whatever you said.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, that's awesome. Good. I'm glad I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, because I debated a 1
Mm.
because of some of the things I did like, but it just wasn't enough. It really wasn't.
Yeah, when a film is this offensive, those offenses really have to start adding up.
Yeah, and normally if it looked pretty, I mean, I'm sure without his weird blurriness around the film, and it would have looked really pretty, I might have given it a 1. But no, he had to block the prettiness.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. Like Dune, I hated Dune. But man, did that film look good. Yeah, it looked beautiful.
It's probably one of the most gorgeous films ever fucking made.
Yes.
And Blade Runner, same director, of course.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing when it comes to making this CG happen. It's unbelievable. It's it's totally breathtaking, really.
Yeah, and because of that, 1 is your starting point. And this guy couldn't even give me that. Man.
It's tough. That's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, we'll have to check out 300. That'll be the only stopping point for Zack Snyder for moving forward, probably.
Thank God.
Because that was a movie of my childhood, so now I feel obligated to come back around and kind of reinvestigate it. I was thinking about it earlier today that I'm a little afraid to see Interstellar. I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but I'm a little afraid to go back to it because I don't think I like Christopher Nolan movies all that much.
Man.
Like, I mean, they're good, but they're not how they're received to me.
Yeah.
And same thing with, the Batman movies. I liked those when I was little, and I'm just a little afraid to go back to them now because I'm just like, damn, those are going to be not as fun, I don't think. I've become jaded.
I don't know, man. When we rewatched Brother Bear, as many times as I've seen that movie,
Yeah.
I loved it even more.
It's better than I remember.
Yes.
So, that's fair.
So, who knows? Keep your chin up.
Yeah, and I liked Dunkirk a lot. And that's one of his lesser favored ones, I think, of the last decade.
Oh.
So, and I like Oppenheimer a lot. I think it's one of the greatest movies of 2023.
Yes, Oppenheimer was fucking awesome.
Yep. So, yeah, man, thank you. Thank you for this. And thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmsteins. Remember, we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on patreon.com/Filmsteins, Spotify, Pandora, and Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. I say that. Speaking of Google Podcasts, I think they postponed the Disservice date. It's now on April 4th or something like that. I swear it was at the end of December, but now I'm good because that's what I use. So all is good for the next couple months. So yeah, remember to leave nice reviews, comments, thoughts, ideas, concerns, grocery lists, whatever you want over on our Patreon. Come recommend a movie or a book that has a movie counterpart, please. I don't mention that, but I hope that's obvious.
I hope that's implied.
But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives in the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins, signing off.